Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Well, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the pod. We're so happy to be here. We're so happy to have you here with us and be here with you. Before we get started, is there anything we wanted to discuss? We need to go over?
I don't know. I feel like just because of our schedule, we're recording this one and the last one, like, it feels like back to back almost.
Yeah, like pretty close, yeah.
I don't really think so.
Well, the Wildwood trailer came out today. The new movie from
Yeah.
Leica Studios. That looks great. That looks fantastic. And I love how, usually these movies, it's like from the studio that made Coraline, but it expressly says in their thing from the hands that made Coraline, because
Yeah.
this, like, you're watching the trailer and you're just like, you forget that this is completely, like, obviously, like, probably some overlays, some like CG overlays, but like this is entirely handcrafted. This is
Right.
all, like this kind of like claymation, clay puppeteering. It's the
Yeah.
animatronic. It's real human beings made this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks amazing.
yeah,
I
looks
I
great.
I don't want to go on a whole tangent on this because we got a movie to talk about, but I was
Hmm.
thinking about this yesterday because I was reading about Val Kilmer's family signed off on his likeness for
Yeah,
this AI movie,
yeah,
and it kind of dawned on me, like, I don't know why people haven't used this argument earlier, but essentially it may very much look like Val Kilmer, but Val Kilmer's not the one making the creative choices. And
yeah,
I don't know why I haven't heard this argument yet, you know, because it's not his creative process. Who knows how he would have approached this role, you know? So instead,
yeah,
it's going to be the director and the writer and whoever's programming the AI. Like, it's going to be their performance, but it's just going to be a Val Kilmer like skin suit. And
yeah,
I don't know why they haven't focused on that side of it. And also something that came up in this movie kind of spawned this idea as well. And I was like,
mm,
huh, yeah, like the creativity, like what is that process? You know?
yeah.
Who's in charge of that process, and I haven't seen Project Hail Mary, but everyone is asking, can Rocky get nominated for a actor award? And people are starting thinking about that, and they've talked about Andy Serkis for the longest time getting
Hmm.
like a mocap. Can a mocap actor get nominated,
Yeah,
and so it's just like those are the current steps right now, and it's like that just what kind of got me thinking about like a fully AI performance. It's still, unless it's just like procedurally generated, someone is still going to be pulling the strings somewhere, like this Val Kilmer one,
yeah,
so it's like, so it's still not him regardless, you know,
yeah.
it's
And
Bob Smith over there. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's Bob Smith, or in actuality, it's like it's a think tank, It's a group of people who are like
sure.
coming together and like typing in these programs and doing else. Because that's the thing. Like, we don't, like, the AI can be controlled by anybody, so yeah, it's like at the end of the day we have no idea who who's the one making the decision, what prompt to type in
Yeah,
for these guys to say whatever. So it's like, yeah, there is no creativity then coming from the actor we're trying to necromantically bring back,
right,
because
right.
that was the whole Ian Holm thing, from Alien Romulus.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, he sounds like him, he looks like him, but like, how do we know that this is the choice that the actor would make for this
exactly.
character?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It does. It,
So
it it becomes a weird simulacrum of just like everything they've done, and it's like,
It's
well,
all yeah.
it's him. It's like, but it's not.
It's just
So
all pretend. It's a skin suit. That's what I'm gonna call it, you know.
yeah, yeah, no, that's
So,
fair.
but
Yeah.
technically, aren't we all?
Oh, that's true. That's true. I mean, no, it's a hologram. You know, it's just puppeteering BS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So,
yeah,
but on that note, yeah, other than that, I don't know what else not a lot has happened in the entertainment world in this last weekend.
yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Well, in that case, we're just gonna hop right in. Hop right in, jump right in. What do you think? No, they kind of just like walk in, right? They kind of just all right. Well,
Yeah.
that's not as exciting, which kind of sums up my feelings about the movie. We're just gonna hop right into the movie this week. We watched 2018's Parallel, directed by Isaac Esban. It's about a group of friends who are in some kind of vaguely defined tech startup who find a mirror to to multiple alternate universes, and they exploit it. So yeah, Matt, how'd you feel about the movie?
Um, this is this is a tough one.
Yeah,
And I knew watching it I was going to have trouble talking about this one as well.
yeah,
Um, I did enjoy it, so that's something. First off, the movie poster for this movie is terrible. So
terrible.
so when you mentioned this movie and I Googled it real quick on episode, I was like, hmm, okay, we'll give it a shot. I don't know what this is about. This is
Hmm.
nothing. This is nothing like what I was expecting.
Hmm.
In a good way. This movie is a lot better than his poster. But
Yeah,
I
truly.
saw the poster. I'm like, what kind of DTV sci-fi network is this? You know?
I
Uh,
had I had to go back and check a couple of times too to make sure that like, wait, this is the movie, right?
yeah.
That we're bringing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
and then when you told me on episode, I looked it up and it brought me like a 2023 one. And then when I
Mhm.
finally sat down to watch this, I found like a 2016 one.
Oh,
And that's why
geez.
I texted you. I was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what movie is this?" Okay, okay. So I found the right one.
Yeah.
Uh but like the opening scene was like the best part of the movie. And
Are
like
you
it's
serious?
dude, yeah, after the lady kills herself, I was gonna text you. I was like, in the words of Xander Cage, I live for this shit.
Oh
I
my
loved it.
God.
I love the music. I'm like, dude, this is cool. I'm
And
like,
here
okay.
and here I am being like, I think that opening scene is entirely tacked on, and you could do the whole movie without it.
Well, now after
Yeah.
watching it, yeah. But at that moment, as soon as it cuts to the story, I was like, dude, that's rad. Like,
What it was that killed me. It was, it was the dialogue. It was the husband's dialogue when she got into bed with him. He was like, "I like the second one better," and she's like, "Good, me too," or
mhm.
whatever. And then the movie starts, and
No,
I was alone, and I groaned out
no,
loud.
but then he even says, as like camera's pulling away, it's just they look so similar.
That's what it is. That's what
And I'm
it
like,
was.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
but it perfectly sets up what movie you're getting. I'm like, okay, it's it's willing to poke fun at itself. It's a little cheesy. I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
and I think it's better than the rest of the movie. But I was so pumped, and I like the music in the opening as well. I was like, dude, I'm like, what is this? Okay, and then it was just kind of like, I won't say it was downhill. I was just like, eh. I there's a lot of concepts in this movie which I like. Here's my problem.
Okay, okay, here we go.
It's the same issue I had with Odessa. Like there's a lot of really cool things in this movie. There's a lot of things in this movie that I don't like.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you were to weigh them, the cool outweighs the dislikes.
Okay.
However, what really gets me is the missed opportunity. Like
Yeah.
all the cool stuff was just kind of like extra.
Yeah.
like the opening scene, all the cool stuff just felt like tacked on. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I was like,
It's
damn.
it's this thing where it's this thing that I feel like I think a lot of movies have a hard
Hmm.
time with grappling with the multiverse. That's not,
Sure.
that's not even to say that like this movie, it's exclusive to this movie because it has such a low budget. But even giant blockbuster movies, I think, have a hard time handling stuff with the multiverse. And a lot of times it's because they present these ideas and these concepts and then do absolutely nothing to engage with them,
Hmm.
which is interesting to me when like because I remember last week I told you I got recommended this movie after watching Coherence like a
Right.
couple of years ago, and so I just put it on a watch list. Like, okay, cool. Like event like it's kind of in the same vein. Fine. Uh, Coherence has even less of a budget than what these guys have, and I think it does the entire idea of multiverse so much better. You
Yeah.
know, and because it is this thing where it's like, no, like we are going to take that idea and really run with it. Like how like and just like how can we do it, like how
Hmm.
can we do this is almost having too many ideas, and
Yeah.
trying to do them all.
I was even feeling like this is because of course I don't know how they would do it, but I am interested in a Coherence sequel,
Yeah.
and the director and writer has discussed it, and he's talked to the cast about it.
Hmm.
But that's a whole other thing. Listeners, go watch our Coherence episode, which we
Yeah,
put
yeah,
out
yeah.
like a year or two ago. Awesome film.
Great movie.
Uh,
Yeah.
Very similar multiverse, very low budget, but it was just
Hmm.
done so much better and more subtle. I think that's why they were
Yeah, I
able to
think so
do it in a
too.
very subtle, creepy way. Whereas this one's the opposite. Like there are moments where like it straight up felt like a heist. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. This is fun.
Yeah.
I could feel like I could see a Coherence sequel going this route. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, we've already gone through the mystery element. Now let's see what fun we can have.
Yeah.
But there's a certain vibe that Coherence gives of something ominous is just outside this house, you
Hmm.
know? And that was something I kind of had in this movie, but it never really paid off. I was always hoping for it, but it never really paid off. I'm just like,
Yeah.
they kind of went the more generic route with the story. Like, oh, okay, one of the guys is super greedy and he starts stealing all this stuff, so he starts killing them. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, because that was my thing. I just feel like, there were interesting ideas that were going on here, but we kind of just didn't like we skipped over some of the better ones that we were coming up with. Like they straight up, ruined probably multiple
mhm.
alternate universes like credit and finances just to finance their own stuff. And like we never like it's just the thing that like none of that ever comes back to bite them in the ass.
Exactly. That's what
You
I was
know?
wanting. Like I was waiting for shit to start happening to them and they don't know why, and it turns out it's because it's other versions of them,
Yeah.
you know? But it's always implied that they were doing this in other universes,
Yeah.
but it's never really stated for sure. Um, you kind of have to assume like, okay, how many times can they steal this one guy's wallet? You know,
See that's what I was thinking. I was like, is it the same alts like wallet that they're going
if it
through?
was, that would have been wild. That would have been
Like,
weird.
yeah, that would have been crazy
But
that he just
but
has
my
all this
point
money,
is that like if they are going into all these different ones, we never see any of that. The only thing that affects the story by having multiple universes is Devin's story, because he's
Yes.
hopping to all these different ones looking to find the universe where his dad's still alive. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's the only time multiple universes actually play into this part,
Hmm.
or plays into the plot. All the stuff that Noel was stealing, it could have just been from the same reality. Like it
Yeah.
because there's so little explanation, which really we don't need a lot of explanation, but
Yeah.
there's so little of it, like we don't really. Those are questions that like there's no answer to. Like I'm assuming they're different universes, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah,
which which I feel like this movie does a lot where it's like you can just imply that something happened, you know? Well,
sure.
like Devin. Obviously, Devin got swapped out,
Mm-hmm.
at some point. But it's like, well, wait, what happened to the other Devin? Is he dead? Or is he just
Mm-hmm.
stranded in another universe?
Mm-hmm.
Or
And because
what
even the
happened to
new
him? Like, we
Devin,
don't know.
New Devin says something like, "Oh, Noel told me just to hide out here until the lawsuit's over," and I was like, "What lawsuit?" But he mentions the other guy, Randy or Andy.
Or Seth. No, 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 it's Seth.
Seth? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he mentions him, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course, because they beat his ass. I'm like, well, wait a second. N- New Devin wasn't there for that. Our Devin was.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so I'm like, okay, well, what's going on?
No,
But
I think the name he drops is Seth. I think that's the guy who runs the company from the beginning of the movie.
oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
all
So
right,
I think he's saying that like, hey, there he's suing us for something, and but
yeah.
again, see, like it's stuff like that that's implied. Also, how Devin gets back to the house at the end of the movie, and he just shows like a random video that I'm like, I don't know what Devin this is that I'm watching, who's just gives a very vague like, if you ever feel like
And
you're questioning reality, and it's
and
like,
here's the
and
thing,
that was
like,
it,
I feel like Devin would, that our Devin would be prepared like that because we saw his story and we saw how he started to distance himself and why.
Hmm.
So I believe he would do that, but it just still doesn't make sense that it just pops up like, I
Yeah.
don't want to keep comparing it to coherence, but the fact that like we get all these little drops about Mike's character, uh, R.I.P. Nicholas Brendan,
Hmm.
and then it's not until like he says that like, what if the other Mike is drinking? And then you're like, oh, and then you put that with the context of all the other character beats we've heard about from Mike, and you're like, oh
Hmm.
no, you
Hmm.
actually understand like there's another Mike out there. That's perfect. That's like it's so well done. And this where they have the opportunity to actually their story, their plot actually takes them onto an adventure into the other
Yeah.
worlds, but we
Yeah.
don't get any of the real character juice that it needs, like
Yeah.
there's the twist at the end, there's two Knowles. And I'm like, at
Oh,
that
yeah.
point, I'm like, oh, who cares? You know,
I was kind of like, oh, okay. Like at that point, I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna be a thing. Like maybe there will
mhm.
be maybe another Noel's gonna come out or something.
Well,
Like, a full like Council of Reeds from like Marvel Comics. Popping out where it's like the boardroom of Knowles, and we're
I
all gonna shoot each
I
other. But
full
like,
on thought
yeah.
that a new Knoll comes out and he kills ours. But then it goes into the whole scene with him and Lena, and I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty sure this is our Knoll.
Yeah.
He just killed the one he kills is a random one. Like, so
Yeah.
what exactly was he doing? Like, that was like that could have like what was that story?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
When you said the twist at the end, I thought you meant the twist at the very end.
oh no, I hated that. I was like,
Where I'm
wait,
like,
what?
why? This didn't need that. You
It
didn't need to
needs
have
it
a whole.
again tacked on. It feels like
Yeah.
Hollywood needs the twist ending, to get
Yeah.
ready for the sequel. I'm like, oh. I think one of the major issues with this movie, like what they gave us, okay, if they wanted to make this story work, I think you need a lead character. We
Mm,
don't have a
hmm.
lead. This is an quote unquote ensemble. The thing about ensembles, each character has to work and go into like weave into each other's stories. We never get that. Like, well, I lie. Technically, we do get that, but we never get that from Noel, and that's a problem because
Yeah.
Noel's the antagonist.
Hmm.
You know, I understand why you wouldn't want to do that with the antagonist, but he's also part of the ensemble. So it's like you have to figure out a way to do both. The beginning, it really kind of feels like Josh's story a bit. because we kind of follow him and we get more of his info, and I'm like, okay, and then he just randomly dies. Like, oh
Hmm.
crap, that was
Which I did
great.
think was interesting. I was
I
like,
thought that was
oh,
really
okay,
cool. And then
yeah.
the whole concept to switch him out, I love that, right?
Hmm.
But then we focus a little bit on Devin. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then his kind of just ends. And then like the last
Hmm.
act, we're really focused on Lena. I'm like, okay, this is all good, but we never really got to buy in on this because we never got Noel's story.
Yeah.
And he's the main antagonist, and technically in an ensemble, that would also make him one of the leads,
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
like, it was just so, it was disconnected. Now, I can't judge this as a piece of art
Hmm.
based on what how I would have done it.
Sure, sure.
But big way to solve all the issues with this movie, have a lead.
Hmm.
I would have started it with alternate Josh. I think that's such a cool concept.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah.
guy who's losing his mind and he can't figure out why.
Hmm.
And it's through his story we figure out, oh, he's not from this world. Who switched him out? And then he ends up not trusting his friends, the one people like the one group of people he can trust. And it's like,
Hmm.
oh man,
Hmm.
that would have been cool. And
That
instead
would have been cool.
they just kill him at the end. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
I thought that was like one of the coolest threads because he starts figuring things out. I'm like, yeah, you can't just swap someone out. That wouldn't make sense. And
yeah.
we get to see that. And that's what I'm talking about, like that coherence darkness that was creeping in. Like something ominous is coming. Like Josh is starting to figure it out, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
The whole idea of Lena, eventually she gets to the point where she just gets drunk and she's like, I'm tired of this and blah blah blah. This isn't really my art. But that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for some kind of comeuppance and be
Yeah.
like that should have been not a twist, but that should have been the punishment. And we never really saw it as punishment on her character. She was just kind of like going through the motions and
Yeah, yeah. It was this thing where like it plays out more like she's overwhelmed with everybody looking at all this art and stuff. One of the big takeaways from Coherence, and I love how we're just like spoiling all of Coherence for,
yeah,
but one of the biggest things about Coherence was how we kept talking about how, you know, the main character who we then followed like towards the end, she's obsessed with this idea of like going to that perfect universe where like everything is perfect, everything is there, everything is this. And it's this thing where it's like, yeah, you can find the perfect universe, but you're still not going to belong there because
yeah.
that's not you.
It's still
You are the
you.
problem. It's like
Yeah.
you're the reason why the things are the way you are. It's
Yeah.
what Devin's dad says in the best scene in this movie. Screw the
Hmm.
opening. The best scene in the movie is when Devin finds his dad,
Okay, that's a good
and
point.
and he says that a man is his own actions,
Hmm.
and like as the way to justify his embezzlement, him almost killing himself in that universe, and like all
Hmm.
the pain that he's caused his family, his son, and his son who's not even his son in this world. And that perfectly sums up everything about the movie.
Yeah.
I was so interested in the fact that like Lena was using her alt's art and passing it off as her own. And like
Was it her?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was fully her own. Because that's the thing, like that's why Josh keeps bringing was bringing up the old portrait that she did, and Devin brought up the art show,
Sure, sure.
because it's
I
like,
guess
because she's the artist, and so she found the other universes that where
so.
she is that artist.
Cause that scene, does she find the paintings or is it on a magazine? Like, I don't remember.
I don't. Oh, it's in a library book, because one thing I love, they go to the library. they're like,
I
what's
thought that was
different
very
about this
clever.
world? Yeah, like we're gonna
I
go to
thought
the
that was very
library.
clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So I don't.
see,
Well, I don't. Okay, so I don't know if it's hers or not. I just assume again that's another assumption that they're leaving us with. Like, I just assumed that it was her own work. So maybe she's the well, because no, because they bring that up too. They say that they're stealing other people's work, and I think Noel even says like to justify Lena's thing. It's like no, we're not stealing other people's work. We're stealing from ourselves, or something like that. Maybe
well,
I'm wrong, but
well, the point is they don't make that clear because
yeah.
my whole thing thinking about this, I'm like, well, what about the person whose art that belonged to? Like in
Yeah.
our universe, is there a girl walking by and she sees the art? She's like, that's the image that's been in my head my whole life, you
Or
know?
I have the sketch done, or I have like the painting like
I
almost
think
mapped out or
that would
something,
have been plot wise the best way to do it. But like I have all of these paintings already, all these
Hmm.
sketches, but I'm not a professional artist,
Hmm.
so who stole whose? But I
Or
think
even
the more like gut wrenching one is the one who's just like that's me. These are my thoughts. You know,
mm,
like in another universe, she was able to channel her art or her demons literally and put it into the page, or not literally, I guess, but put it
yeah.
into painting. But where in our world, she's walking around and someone else is already doing it. And like now this girl starts having a mental break like Josh,
Hmm.
and then I don't know, she kills herself or whatever, and then Lena somehow finds out, and it's this, I don't know, she somehow sees the sketches of the art she stole,
Mm.
something like that. Like,
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I could definitely see that. That does feel a little kind of roundabout, but
no, it doesn't. I mean, I feel if you go to another universe and steal Paul McCartney's music, what happens to Paul McCartney in our world if he sees it? All that
oh,
creative
yeah.
inspiration in him is just like, does he realize it's been stolen, or is it like this person gets me?
Mm.
It's kind of,
Yeah.
I bring up Paul McCartney because it's kind of like that Beatles movie, you
Mm.
know. But see, that's what I was thinking the whole time because I didn't technically still don't know if Lena stole from herself or not.
See
I'm not
that
sure.
I feel like that's why I was bringing up that she stole from herself
Yeah.
because I think what they were trying to do with her was showcase that like oh she's the artist for their group, she's
Yeah.
creating the designs for their app and stuff. Uh and we know that she has a basis in that she studied art, she wanted to be an artist but she can't get the work, can't get the studio space. So the fact that she has all of this stuff now, I wanted it to be like this thing where it's like, hey, it's very much like she tells Noel at the end. It's like the money was never the problem, when talking about their
Hmm.
relationship. It's like the money was never the problem. It's like, yeah, whatever you as this artist, Lena, is telling yourself is the problem. That's not it.
Yeah.
Because especially like she kind of just has like this kind of overwhelming feeling, and I wanted it to be like I wanted that art critic to just randomly come up or like she overhears something and he says like there's something about this image that feels off, like there's no passion in it. Like
Right.
I think the photograph like did it more justice. I'm not sure what it is, maybe it's under the light or something, but
Hmm.
I just don't feel the soul because
Because even
that's what it
then,
feels like,
she's
she's
not
just
just
copying it.
she's not stealing and like putting the same painting up. She's
Yeah,
redoing it her way,
exactly,
And it's just
exactly.
like
It's like
I
you
was
have to
kind of
be
hoping for something like that. Like,
yeah, you have to be a master forger to be able to like do that. But I
hmm
guess the thing is that well, these paintings don't exist in our world yet.
hmm
So, so
yeah,
that's how she gets away with it. Um, but yeah, yeah,
yeah. What could have been?
yeah, what could have been?
Yeah. It's
It's the vagueness and unclearness of it that just kind of that is sort of like the root of the issue here. That like a lot of this movie, we have to infer that like, well, wait, is this Lena's artwork or is it art that just she just stole from other people?
I
like Noel.
I think if it was a good movie, I wouldn't really care about that. Like,
That's true.
I don't
Yeah.
really need to know, but it's because the movie isn't that great that like those things kind of stand out.
Yeah.
Uh, because yeah, because like I feel like there's so many cool ideas that you could have done, and they didn't want to go that route. And as a writer, you're free to write whatever movie you want. You're free to direct any whatever movie you want to direct. But
True.
my thing is like they decided to go like the boring route. Like the
Yeah.
whole Noel
Yeah.
story, I'm just like, one, this isn't original. This is I've seen this before,
Hmm.
like this I maybe not this exact thing, but this is how many time travel stories have you seen? This is Biff from Back to the
Back
Future
to the
2,
Future.
you
Yeah.
know? Now granted, yes, every story's been done before, but I'm just like there were so many cool avenues they could have taken with this, you
Hmm.
know? And like think about our Noel being a victim to other Noel. That
Yeah.
instantly would have been so much more cooler and interesting and as a way for us to not bond but as an audience like get on his side like okay dude all
Hmm.
right let's get out
Hmm.
of this.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. It's especially the thing too where it's like they're the only difference between universes outside of, like whatever they were saying, like the only
Hmm.
way we knew we were in the alt universe was like a blue color filter and like the weird camera angles that we had in the other universe.
Hmm.
Um so it's like if but when they're mapping it out towards the beginning, it's like it looked like they counted other universes.
Right, yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, so does every universe just have that blue tint? If I was alt Josh, that's how I would have known this universe was off. It's like, hey, nothing looks
See,
blue here, you know? What
that's
the
the
hell's
thing
up with
too.
that?
Like visually, there's a distinction between our world and then this alternate one. But then I
Hmm.
guess all the alternate ones looked exactly the same tint. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. I don't like
what.
it's definitely like an aesthetic choice, to get the point across, but
And
that is one of
again,
those decisions
and
that
again, I love indie film that can like really show you like what they could do. Like Vesper, they're like, let's show them what we can do. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you don't need a big budget to do all of these different little ideas and things. Don't want to spoil anything from Dark, but look at how Dark approaches some some of their storylines,
Hmm.
and some of their stories. And it could just be simple
Hmm.
mirroring the camera on the edit.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like a sketch comedy thing where like they dress as the Godfather and they're gonna blow up $1 million. It was such a random scene, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't
That
hate it, but
because
it just feels weird.
it adds a personality that just isn't really present in the rest of the movie, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But then the scene ends when they find a copy of Frankenstein starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
And Emma
And I'm just
Stone,
like,
yeah.
okay, that's an interesting way to do it.
Hmm.
Like that's your call. My call. I would have had the cops like pull up on these guys, be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, we're just doing whatever." And like they're rich, so it could be their cops. They work for Noel or something. They're like, "Oh, hey, boss, just want to see what's going on. What are you doing?" You're like, you get it? The Godfather? What's that? The
Yeah,
Godfather.
yeah,
Sir Marlon Brando. And he's like, he's like, boss, I've seen every single Marlon Brando film. He never did anything called The Godfather.
yeah,
Something like that. Because
yeah.
it's like, okay, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling, I get that. It's a joke, but I'm like, this is a world where The Godfather doesn't exist.
Hmm.
One of the greatest movies of all time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So already we're kind of poking holes into something like, oh, not only is this different, it kind of feels not right.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
hmm.
Well, and it goes back to the thing where like, the alt Josh like is looking at the children's book. He's like, my mother
Oh,
read this to me, every night, like
As
I
soon as he
know
said that,
this,
I was like,
like,
it's the Berenstain Bears, right? I was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I think it was what, the Callahan cats or something.
yeah, something
I think
like
that's what it
that.
was. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no G in Callahan. It's like, oh God.
It's
Okay.
like, calm down, dude, calm
Yeah.
down. But yeah, yeah, it's like it's something like that where it's like, and again, there's that sinister vibe that you're talking about of like
Hmm.
there's like your world isn't your world. There's something off, and it's not just like it might just be you, but what if it's not? And there's
Yeah.
there's that unease, but like the movie doesn't want to go with that. It's basically telling you everything that it's doing,
And
you
that's kind of
know?
what I wanted too. I wanted something, and I think we needed something in this movie where we're like, wait a second, are you really who we think you are?
Yeah.
There was none of that. Like,
Because there was one scene early on where I was like, is that what they're going to be doing? Like, is that going to happen? And it was such
hmm
a random scene. It was the scene where it was the first time Lena and Devin are sitting on the porch together.
hmm
Because just the way Devin was moving, there was something in me that I was reading. I was like, I don't think this is our Devin. I think
mm
this is an alt. And that's what
hmm
I thought was going to happen, that like, oh, the other alts are catching on that like somebody's messing with them and they're taking revenge, and so they're going
mm
to like abduct them, and then our
hmm
regulars are going to have to get back to their universe. That ended up not happening, you know.
hmm
But I don't know, there was something about the way like Lena mentioned something and Devin kind of like he looks like he didn't understand that or know how to react.
mm
And so I was like, wait a second, is that another Devin? But no, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping for a twist, kind kind of like Coherence, where I wanted a point where they realized none of them are actually from their original world.
Mm-hmm.
Because
When
how easy would it be to get lost?
when
Like,
when the camera was tilting up at the very end, I wanted there to be like two suns in the sky or something like that. Like just
right?
just something else, like to just like,
Just mirror the
yeah.
footage, so as you pan up, you're actually panning down onto the
Whoa.
same image but upside down.
Oh, whoa. Just
hmm
like how we start the movie in the mirror,
I
and
was
yeah.
like, just like the opening credits for
Of
Dark.
Dark, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Is that
dude,
what we
like,
we just want to watch Dark again?
we just want to watch Dark and Coherence
Yeah.
again. Like, because we mentioned this, like after you watch the series finale of Dark, and then you go watch the same opening credits since episode one, you're like, oh, dude, the clues were there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in camera angles and mirrors. I'm like they gave away the ending of the show in the opening credits, and you don't even
Mm-hmm.
realize it. You're like, oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And I think it's sort of this thing where it's like it's both the creators of Coherence and the creators of Dark have gone on to say that like they spent years trying to crack these stories, you
yeah.
know, like the Coherence guys spent like a full year working on like the mechanics of how everything works and the ins and outs
I
of
think it's the mechanics,
how
but
the
I
things,
think it
yeah.
was like 6 years in total for the guy.
Yeah.
But then like to actually
I
there's
think
no
to actually,
script. There's
yeah.
no script, but to actually write out what was going to happen took him like a year.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Dark, I think they said that they were writing Dark for 10 years before they started working on it, like the
yeah,
show. I
yeah.
was like,
And so and,
dang.
and so I don't know how long it took like the writers to do, this movie, the creators to like,
Yeah.
come up with this movie and all that. It's like it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, not everything's gonna be Dark or Coherence, you know?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and again, like there were big stretches of this movie where I was like, I'm actually having fun. I'm
Me
enjoying
too.
it. It's kind of the thing where it's like I think the more I think about it, I get upset with what could have been, you know?
Mm,
And it is just this thing where it's like, yeah, like this isn't doing anything new. It's
hmm
not trying to rewrite science fiction or multiverse stories.
Sure.
So we can't necessarily judge it on that. We can only judge it on what it is
Yeah.
presenting.
Yeah, but
And
like
what's here is fine.
Yeah, it's fine, but as the movie went on, it just to me it was kind of spiraling. I was just like,
Yeah,
okay, all
yeah.
right.
It really did feel like it had a lot of like strong stuff in like the first half of it. And
Hmm.
then once the alt Josh came in, it was like, okay, now we're kind of like
Which is
now we're
crazy
spinning wheels.
because Alt Josh was such a cool part.
Yeah.
But it's such a small part of the movie. I
Yeah.
was like, ah, damn. So, but again, what does he use with his powers? How does he use his powers? To hook up with women? It's just like
Yeah.
there's no good person here. Like
I
you
mean,
could say
except
Devin,
Devin.
but he's just letting it happen. He's just letting
Yeah.
them happen. And then when he gets that speech from his dad, and it's like, okay, what does he do? Nothing.
Nothing. He
Nothing.
hooks up with like a semi-drunk Lena?
Yeah, I was like,
Like,
ah,
okay,
dude.
like yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like my note to the creators is my same note to the creators of Odessa, even though they've managed to make feature films and I have not. But I'm like, you had such a cool idea and such cool concepts, but somewhere along the way, like you stepped on your own concept, like you went astray, you lost the way. Like I don't know how to explain it, like because all the pieces of the puzzle are there, but it's
Hmm.
like they couldn't put it together. And that's what story and filmmaking is. They're making a puzzle, but they don't know what that final picture is, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
And it's just like, oh, dude, this could have been great because you had so many cool things. It's just the way you executed it didn't work. So,
And you know, it might even be this thing, you know, it might even be simpler than that. It might even just be that like that's not the story they wanted to tell. They wanted to tell this story. You know, it's that I'm reminded of the of
yeah.
that Spider-Man panel where he's fighting Sauron, the pterodactyl guy,
Mm.
and he's just like, "You're a brilliant scientist. You could cure cancer." And Sauron's like, "But I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people to dinosaurs." It's like, honestly, I get it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It's like, yeah, like you could like maybe yeah,
Yeah.
we want to tell that story
Our
of all this other stuff, and this guy's just like, I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
want to turn people
And you
into
see,
dinosaurs.
that's something that they kind of tease with Noel. He keeps talking about like we could change the world and do all this stuff. I'm like, what exactly do you want to do? Like
Yeah.
he like out of the whole movie and out of all the characters, he really turned into a cartoon villain because and I think maybe even the writers knew about it because he wasn't bad enough to be the antagonist. That's why they had to throw in the whole relationship with Lena. Like, oh, he's just possessive and now he wants to take her for himself and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's bad, but but we kind of got hints of that throughout the movie.
Hmm.
But that's not why I didn't like this guy in Acts 2 or 1.
Hmm.
Like what about all that stuff? you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
it's like we're going after Elon Musk because he's a horrible husband and lover. I mean,
Okay,
we
sure.
could go after
Yeah.
him because he's participated in so many illegal activities and he's
Yeah,
actively
yeah.
destroying the world, but let's go with that one, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, and there was also this thing where like so the so when they're talking about Marissa, the old woman at the beginning, when they're
right.
talking about her, it's like there's also that whole thing too, where like apparently uh that's evil. That's evil Marissa's house, you know, like the
Mm-hmm.
house that they're living in because she just vanished, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I'm like, I thought that was fascinating too. The idea that like, oh, she went to a full other universe and now they're occupying her old house. Like I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that brings up an idea where it's like, oh, her husband died in this world, and she spent years looking for him in other worlds until she found him. Why didn't they do that with Josh? Why like I don't know, like that was where my mind went where like, oh,
Mm,
our Josh is dead. Instead of just grabbing a random one, why didn't we go to a universe where like that Josh lost all of his friends? You know, and
right?
he's the only one, and we're gonna bring him back. Like it's this thing of like we're kind of just doing things, kind of just to do things. There's no thought
Yeah.
really being put into any of this.
Because they needed Noel to be the bad guy. They
Yeah,
needed to set this stuff up. And I'm like,
yeah,
there here's a perfect example of the logic of this movie, which sucks because like it seems so smart, like the world seems smart. The
hmm
world building seems smart, but the characters and the plot have the logic and intelligence of a slasher flick because things
yeah,
are just happening and characters are just making these decisions because this needs to happen next.
yeah,
You know, and I'm like, ah, dude, we
it's
should
like
have known because there's a slasher in the beginning. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that should have been the
the
flag right there.
clue, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's this thing where it's like, yeah, the characters might not know that they're in a genre picture, but they're
hmm
making all of the decisions of characters in genre pictures.
hmm
So like, and once we know that, it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
now,
and
now I can telegraph your whole movie, you know?
yeah, and it's the thing too. Like, okay, this seems like a pretty fairly intelligent character until they're getting chased by a man with a knife. Then they start making all these bad decisions, you
Yeah.
know? And like this one's a little different because it's like, oh, okay, you can say that like this is a very corruptible group. They're not making smart choices, they're making selfish choices. I'm like,
hmm
okay, that's fine. But then you get into the second half and it's just like, okay, things are just getting dumb.
hmm
And like I get how hard it is to describe what's happening to New Devon, but like if you want to get out of this, you're gonna have to. Like there's just a bunch of stuff like that. We spent like a full minute trying to explain to New Josh, like, oh, this thing is bolted down, and he's like, no, just move it. I'm like,
hmm Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I will say Noel's death was pretty cool. I
Oh,
kind
for sure.
I kind of wish we got like I wanted him to feel it more. Like
I
I
think
wanted him.
he felt it plenty, bro.
It would have been perfect if his eyes blinked once or twice, and then we see the thing. You know, because I was thinking like, did he feel it? I want him to have felt it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like you see it because like it is done kind of cool where we just see his face and then it slides out of the frame and you see the blood on the mirror. It
hmm
would have kind of been cool like to just reveal it like the camera pulls back and you see him like stuck, like still moving, like trapped, like
Yeah, yeah.
oh, like the commander in the first Resident Evil. He gets sliced
Oh,
up in the highway, in not the highway, in
the
the
hallway.
hallway,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his eyes just like, and then it like melts. It's kind of blurred. It's in the background, but he's just like,
Yeah, he just
fall,
like falls into cubes and
something like
geometric
that.
shapes. Yeah,
Just give
yeah.
me like two blinks of like what happened, and
Or like a gasp, you know, where he's just there like
yeah, yeah.
and then yeah, falls. 'Cause I did like when we saw like the back of his body, you know, it's just all open and you can
Oh,
see
that was
his like
cool. Yeah.
all the organs still trying to work, you know, until
Probably
they
the
don't.
second best scene of the movie.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
okay, so we got the dad scene, we got
Dad,
Noel's death, and then we got the opening.
the the opening, sure.
I like the opening.
I
I
mean,
do.
I will say the minute I was in was when the killer grabbed the pillow and was like for your back, and then immediately just
Oh,
uses it as like
yeah.
a silencer. I was like,
Well,
that's actually kind of
well, I
rad.
was kind of like I was already intrigued because I'm like the dog already has food. Why is the dog
Barking.
like? Well, like no, I'm like why is he not doing anything?
Oh yeah,
Because he
yeah.
was barking, but then like he's just kind of there, and he already had food, and I'm
hmm
like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was the lady who
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
herself. I'm like, this is wild. Okay. So, yeah. But all in all, it was a decent flick. I think it's got like an 82 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like,
Wild.
I think that's generous, but
Yeah.
like I don't think it's a movie that I'll make fun of, but out of love. Like I don't think it was that horrible that I just I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
terrible.
I can see what you're saying. It's like because again, when we watched it, we were having a good time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what it wasn't. You know what it could have
Right.
been. You know, like we've been saying. So,
It's not my least favorite movie we've watched on this podcast.
what is your least favorite movie we watched on this podcast?
It's probably The Wailing.
Oh,
But even then,
I mean, honestly, yeah,
I think The Wailing is like excellent film until like the third act,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know. Um even even then uh I'll even say that like it's kind of like Vesper where like you kind of get almost the climax but then it keeps going. Like you kind of get a
yeah.
three-act structure, but
Hmm.
whereas you get Vesper, you got three acts, and then you got like an additional 10 minutes to see what happens. The Wailing, you got like three acts, but then you got like a whole other 30 minutes of movie, and
No,
that's
yeah,
where
that's
it
fair.
spiraled. But I'm not upset at this movie the way I was at The Wailing because I
Yeah,
expected more. I expected more from that movie, you know.
yeah.
I still say I enjoyed Parallel a lot more than I was expecting based on that poster.
True, very true.
Okay. So let's see. What do we got going on next week? We're watching another movie next week, right? Yep,
I
sure
believe so.
are.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam, warm up your D20.
Okay. Let's see here. 4.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
No,
Uh-oh.
just because I don't know what your feelings are on this. I didn't want to watch it when it came out, but I've heard good stuff since. We're going back to 2022 to watch Damien Chazelle's Babylon.
Oh.
I
Okay.
was always
Okay.
interested, but when it came out, I just kind of like, it looks like whatever. But I have heard a lot of like the people who like this movie really like this movie.
Yeah, I have heard that too.
So so
I think too it's sort of like Damien Chazelle's one of those I feel like one of those directors where it's like you either buy into what he's doing or you don't. Um
yeah, all I've seen from him was La La Land.
oh, you never saw Whiplash?
Oh yes, I did.
Okay.
That one was
Okay.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
it is available on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Um, yeah, as well as other places to rent. So interesting, because it's been a while since I feel like we've watched like a Hollywood, like a Hollywood movie level movie on the pod. You know,
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true.
budget wise, big budget. So.
Yeah, yeah. We've been watching a lot of like smaller budget stuff
Mhm.
recently.
Everyone, next week we're watching Damien Chazelle's Babylon. Um, yeah, so let us know what you think
Mm-hmm.
at lostlegaciespodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hit us up. Hashtag Lost Legacies. We're around. Uh, Sam, I think that's it.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's it.
Not bad.
I'll plug. I put Kat said that I should plug my letterbox. So I'll plug my letterbox.
Oh,
I post up a review for all the movies that we watch for Lost Legacies. If not the Monday the episode goes up, I usually do it like by the next day. And
hmm.
yeah, they're just small little write ups, and they'll have a link to the episodes. So if you're watching this podcast form, if you want to see one of our episodes on YouTube, I got a link in the description there that you can just click on. I also have the full list of all the movies that we've seen for the pod called the Lost Legacies Cinematic Extravaganza,
Oh,
and
okay.
that goes all the way back to when we did Underwater years ago.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, yeah. So I'm at Rancid Sam. If you want to go check that out, Rancid Sam at Letterboxd.
Okay, and I think we could probably add that to the podcast info at the bottom of each episode.
Oh,
So
probably, yeah.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't touched my letterbox in a long time, so I don't remember what's there or not. But everyone, until next time, get lost.
Get lost. Wait, no, you're the mirror one, so you can't say get lost. You have to say something else.
Get found.